Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're doing a Red Dragon Archfiend deck profile. So you guys have been requesting this one like crazy, and I have honestly been super excited about this deck. Like, I really mean it. I have been super excited for this Red Dragon Archfiend deck to come out because of Crimson Resignator coming out and all the other awesome support coming out for this deck. This and the Shark deck are the two that I've been excited for the most. Out of all the new decks that have been released, these two are going to be insane. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell next to become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description because we have some really cool rewards for you guys, like getting your name in the description of every single video, getting a signed card sent to you, or even getting to request a deck profile every single month that you are a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this, guys. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Crimson Resignator. Crimson Resignator is the newest Resignator monster that has the effect of, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if the only other monster you control is exactly one Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon up to 2 Resonator monsters from your hand or deck, except another copy of Crimson. And then you only use the effect of Crimson once per turn, and you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck except for Dark Dragon Synchro monsters the turn you activate this effect, which is not that big of a deal because the majority of the time you're going to be special summoning Dark Dragons anyways. Then we play 3 copies of Red Resignator. Red Resignator is really good because when it's normal summon, you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand, and then when this card is special summoned, you can target one monster on the field and make it so you gain life points equal that monster's attack. Then I played 3 copies of Synchron Resonator. Synchron Resonator, which is spelled with a K instead of a C, so it's not technically a part of the Synchron archetype. If a Synchro monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only use the effect of it once per turn, and then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Synchron monster or Resonator monster in your graveyard except another copy of yourself and add it back to your hand, which is really, really helpful. Then we play a single copy of Creation. Creation is really good because if you control a face-up level 8 or higher Dark or level 8 or higher Synchro monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then a single copy of Chain. Chain is really good too. Chain Resonator is really good because when this card is normal summon, while you control a Synchro monster is on the field, you can special summon the Resonator monster from your deck, which is super helpful just to get you another Resonator on the field to get you more plays, which is super, super, super good. So that's it for the Resonators. For the other monsters that we're playing in here, we're playing 2 copies of Red Familiar. I like 2 in the deck because it is searchable. But this card is one of the new cards that came out of Eternity Code. But it's such a good card that you can tribute 1 Fiend monster and then target a Dark Dragon Synchro monster in your grave and special summon it in defense position. So the majority of the time you are going to have a Dark Dragon in the graveyard to bring back with this card. So you want to play this card at 2 because it's just an instant revival card. And it also has the ability to negate the effects, and you banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Dark Dragon Synchro monster you control and declare a level from 1 to 8, and that monster becomes that level until the end phase of the turn, so it lets you level manipulate so you can go into your other plays as well. So your Synchro or your Tuner monsters effects or your Tuner monsters levels don't really matter as much because you're going to be able to level manipulate them to the exact point that you need your dragon monster to be so you can Synchro summon into like Tyrant or Bane or whatever you need to be Synchro summoning in. Or you can even use it to Synchro into Abyss, which is usually what I go for. Then I played 2 copies of Red Sprinter. Red Sprinter is a new, or not new, this card's an old card, but it's a really good card to put in here because basically what Red Sprinter does is when this card is normal or special summon while you control no other monsters, you can special summon 1 level 3 or lower Fiend type Tuner monster from your hand or grave, which is really good to get those monsters onto the field. Then we play 3 copies of Wandering King Wildwind. So Wandering King Wildwind is a really, really good card in here because basically what Wandering King Wildwind does is if you control a Fiend type Tuner monster that's 1500 attack or less, you can special summon this card, but if you attempt to special summon this card from your hand, then you cannot special summon monster from your extra deck except for Synchro monsters. And then during the main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to add a Fiend type Tuner monster with a 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. Then I play a personal tech that I really, really, really like in this deck. That is 3 copies. Well, actually, I'll get you guys to guess it. I'm going to lay this down, and you guys are going to guess it. It's 3 of the same thing. So definitely comment down below. Tell me what you think it is, and I reveal it in, say, 3 seconds. So definitely like, comment, subscribe, guys. Hit the bell and you can become part of the notification squad, and comment down below and tell me what you think this card is. And you guys love this game and comment on it all the time, and I'm super excited for that. It's a lot of fun. So definitely comment down below. Tell me what you think this card is, and we'll reveal it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So it's an old school card. the old school card that we're playing in here, if you guys wanted that hint, it is an old school card, is 3 copies of Witch of the Black Forest with her new errata that she had from the Battles of Legends Lightverse Revenge, which has been a little while ago. But her effect is if she's sent from the field to the grave, you get to add a monster from your deck to your hand with 1500 or less defense to your hand, but you cannot activate its effects with cards or effects with that card's name for the rest of the turn. That's fine, because the majority of the stuff we play in this deck is 1500 or less attack, and you can just search something like Nibiru. You could search Nibiru if you wanted to search Nibiru. You could search a copy of Hat Tricker, which we're going to be playing a single or 2 copies of. You could search Wild Wind. You could search Red Familiar. Any of your Synchro monsters. Literally the entire deck is searchable at this point with this card. So it's really good as a level 4 Synchro monster. Then we play 2 copies of Perform Mage Hat Tricker, because you can special summon it to your side of the field if you control 2 or more monsters, which helps us out with Synchro plays. So that's it for the monsters. We do have a couple of hand traps that I'm going to show you guys in just a second, but that is it for the monsters besides the hand trap. So definitely try that Witch of the Black Forest tech, because Witch of the Black Forest is really, really, really neat in this deck. So, for the hand traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ash and 2 copies of Nibiru. I already kind of revealed that we're playing Nibiru, but these cards are really good in here, because the reason you play these at all in the deck is because Nibiru helps you get rid of monsters on the first turn, and then Ash Blossom helps you out with just dealing with all sorts of problematic cards that you have against your opponent. Now, Nibiru, you could arguably change out if you wanted to for like DD Crow or something like that, but it depends on what you want to play. Or you could change it out for Infinite Impermanence if you want to drop 1 Red Familiar, and then these 2 for Infinite Impermanence. That is an option for you guys, but I really like playing the 2 Nibiru and the 3 Ash. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Called by the Grave. The 3 copies of Called by the Grave come in super handy because you don't have to deal with your opponent's hand traps, and it just deals with all the problematic cards. 1 copy of Monster Reborn because it's a good extender. 1 copy of Pot of Desires. The Pot of Desires is super helpful in here, because basically what the Pot of Desires does for us is it says, hey, banish 10, draw 2, but you can't Desires into a Desires, and it's also an Ash Blossom bait. So I just play it as a 1 of in here, and it really helps out for that. Then we play 3 copies of Resonator Call. Resonator Call lets you add a Resonator from your deck to your hand. And then we play 3 copies of Resonator Command, which lets us add a Fiend monster that's level 4 or lower Fiend monster by discarding a Resonator from our deck, from our hand to the graveyard, which is an amazing card for this deck, because it lets us search our copies of Red Familiar, Wandering King Wild Wind, and Red Sprinter, and add them from our deck to our hand just by discarding a Resonator, which we're going to have Resonators in the hand to get rid of. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps, which we only play 1 trap. It's becoming like the normal to play 1 trap in the deck, which is Red Regiment. This card's really good because if you control a level 8 or higher Synchro monster, then you can banish all other cards on the field except for the monsters. And then with the highest attack and level, or the highest level, and also the remaining face-up monsters on the field are unaffected by other card effects, and then except their own, and then until the end phase of the turn. And if a Dark Dragon Synchro monster is on the field when this card is in your graveyard, you can add it back to your hand, so you can just use it again. This card is bonkers. Okay, I really wanted to play this at more than 1, but I kind of cut it down. But this card is crazy, so if there's anything that you don't want to play in the deck, play more copies of this, because this card is insanely good, and you're always going to have a copy of a level 5 or level 8 or higher Synchro monster on the field. So this card is so good in the deck. So that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, and I do have all 3 editions for you guys. I have the Secret, I have the Ultimate, and I have the Ghost Rare for you guys to play in this deck. So definitely give us a like, comment, subscribe, guys. Just like the Red Eyes Black Dragon deck profile, we do have all 3 editions for you guys, which is what I really strive to do to really impress you guys when we do these deck profiles. But what this card does is its name becomes Red Dragon Archfiend while on the field or in the graveyard, and then once per turn you can destroy as many special summon monster effect monsters on the field as possible with attack less than or equal to this card's, and then inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed, which is really, really, really good. Then we play a single copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. King Calamity is a really good card that takes 2 tuner monsters and 1 non-tuner dragon synchro monster. And then when this card is synchro summoned, you can activate the effect, and for the rest of the turn, your opponent cannot activate cards. So basically it makes your entire field speed spell 4, which is insanely good. It also has the ability that your opponent can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation, which is a speed spell 4. And if this card destroys a monster by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. This card can beat over just about anything because it has 4K. And if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's battle or by card effect, you can target one level 8 or lower synchro dark dragon monster in your graveyard and then instantly special summon it. So it not only replaces itself, but this card is basically the card that you summon and you win. Then we play one copy of Red Nova Dragon. I do play the one copy of Red Nova Dragon because Red Nova is not a bad card because it has the ability that this card gains 200 attack for each tuner monster in the grave, and this card cannot be destroyed by card effects of your opponent's spell trap or monsters. And then when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can select it and then remove this card from play and negate the attack. And then during the end phase, special summon this card that was removed from play by this effect. So it's really easy to get this card really big on your side of the field, and I love playing this card as one copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. Bane is really good in here too, because what Bane does is it lets you tribute a monster, then target a Red Dragon Archfiend in your grave and special summon it. And then when this card inflicts damage to your opponent, you can special summon 2 tuners with the same level, one from your deck and one from your grave, in defense position, which is usually going to be a level 2 tuner or 2 level 1 tuners to go into your Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. Then we play a single copy of Tyrant. Tyrant is really good in here too because it just takes 2 tuners and a synchro monster, which is usually going to be 2 level 1s or 2 level 2s and a level 6 monster to go in this card. But it must be synchro summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways, and you can only use this effects of Tyrant once per turn. And during your main phase, you can destroy all other cards on the field. And also for the rest of the turn, other monsters you control cannot attack. It just destroys everything on the field, which is insane. And then during either player's battle phase, when a spell or trap is activated, you can negate the activation to destroy that card. And if you do, this card gains 500 attack, so it goes to 4,000. That's really good. Then we play 2 copies of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Basically, this card negates one card on the field just by targeting it for freezies. And also, during either player's turn, you can target a tuner monster in your grave and special summon that target, which is really cool when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, which is super good. I really like that effect. And plus, it's a 3200 beat stick. Then for the cards that are not red dragons, we play a single copy of Void Ogre Dragon. Void Ogre Dragon just negates spells and traps. Beals makes it so it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects, so this card's really helpful to come out on the field. The only non-dark dragon monster that I play in the entire extra deck is a single copy of Black Rose Dragon, just in case I need to board wipe, but that is a card that is optional for you guys. You can put any level 7 synchro monster that's a dark dragon in here, or you can play Black Rose as well. The only other one that I could come up with was Ancient Pixie Dragon, and I wasn't super hyped about Ancient Pixie Dragon. Then I played 3 copies of Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising Dragon is the starter card that you're usually going to go into the majority of the time, that has the ability that when this card is synchro summoned, you can target a Resonator monster in your grave and special summon it, which is immediately going to get you into is immediately going to get you into Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. It also has the ability that you can't synchro summon except for dark dragons, and then during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card and then target 2 Resonators, 2 level 1 Resonator monsters in your graveyard, and special summon both of them to your side of the field, which can get you some insane plays. Now, you don't even need any Link monsters in this deck. This deck functions solely on its own, just synchro summoning, which is absolutely crazy. This card has quickly become one of my favorite dragon monsters in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I absolutely love the way this deck plays. So anyways, guys, definitely tell me how you think of this deck. That is it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you enjoyed this Resonator deck profile or the Red Dragon Archfiend deck profile. It's a really fun deck. I highly recommend that you guys pick this deck up if you can. The extra deck is a little bit pricey. The main deck, not so much. But it has a couple of different ways that you can play it. But it is such a fun deck. I highly recommend that you guys give it a try. And it's such a nostalgic monster. And it is probably one of the most awesome looking dragons in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And most brutal looking dragons in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.